Hi guys, my name's Naledi.
I'm a bit nervous. It's my first video, so.
Hi guys, my name's Naledi and I'm a first year UCT student.
Oh my god! Wow!
But the journey to coming here wasn't as easy. And so I felt in my heart that I should probably make this video to speak to someone who is or probably was, I think more in the present, who is in my position, the position I was last year. And, you know, let the people know that trust me,
I know that.
it gets better. Like, it may not be in the way that you wish it does, but at the end of the day, you are going to overcome the situation that you're in right now. So I feel like I should just give you guys a bit of a breakdown on what happened and just my high school career. So I went to high school in Johannesburg and I matriculated in 2023. So I did grade 12 in 2023. A journey of my marks is that grade 8, I just came from a CAPS and I went into IEB. So the transition was a bit of like, you can imagine. But then I started to pick up my feet because, yeah, I like to think of myself as someone that like can pick on things really quickly and then like just adapt really quickly. So grade 10, grade 9, grade 10, my marks were looking really good. Like then grade 11, I took a dip, like a really bad dip. Like all the dip started there in grade 11. And obviously that's not the best grade to take a dip in because those are the marks that we're going to apply with. And I suffered the exact consequences that you would expect with like not getting up to par marks. When I applied with my end of year grade 11 marks, I was fully rejected everywhere. I applied everywhere. UJ, UCT, UP, VITS, UWC, NWU. I applied everywhere, and when everyone else was like, oh my gosh, I got a conditional acceptance, and I'm just like, I need to up my marks in grade 12. And so I was working on that, but still, I just don't know what it was. I fully was just not in that headspace. I had so much going on, so much responsibilities that I took away from my actual academics. And yeah, I could just see like this was only gonna happen like if God pulled some miracle that like even people would be shocked, like, oh my days, Naledi, what the hell, And so long story short, comes end of 2023, beginning of 2024, we're getting our marks, everyone's getting their marks, and it's just like, okay, let's see your marks. At the end of the day, it's not even the marks, it's really just about like, are you into uni? Did you get into any university? Did you even get in for like whatever you wanted to get in for? And when that came, Sana, let me even tell you about the day that I got my marks. That's when I knew, damn, it's gonna be a long journey. I got my marks, I looked at them, I said, it was the two most important subjects that I needed to get into the degree that I applied for. Now let's take a step back. I had applied for actuarial science, I applied for comp sci, and then I applied for just BCom accounting, just as like a third option. That was like my third option. And obviously I was just like distributing these choices in whatever university. And when I looked at my marks and I looked at what I applied for, it was almost like a fairy tale. It's like I was trying to like, I was just delusional and thinking that I was gonna get in with those marks. Do you get what I mean?
What gave you the confidence? Delusion?
It was one of those things. Then, I can remember the day. My mom was trying to be composed in the sense that she didn't want to show her disappointment. Wow, insane. So then obviously now, people have like celebrated. Oh, okay, so these are my marks. I'm just gonna put them on. As you can see, like every other thing was just like, it was mid, it was okay. It was the maths and science that was just, it was not carrying me. Literally. So then, obviously then people are getting like acceptances and people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to UJ, oh my gosh. And I'm thinking, great. Great stuff. Great. I did not get accepted anywhere. Like, the pain of rejection, guys, is nothing I wish upon, not even my worst enemy. Rejection as a form, in whatever it may be, is painful. But when it comes to rejection and things like that, where basically getting in or not determines your worth, it almost takes this toll on you. And I don't know, like, dude, it was insanity. I
could feel myself losing my mind.
Not even for myself really in that moment, but I just felt like a failure to my mom. It was bad. Like, Anyway, so then obviously I didn't get in, and I remember we kept going to UP. That was like my last source. There's this one lady who was super helpful. She was in the Department of Agriculture, because that's where AXI is under, under agriculture at UP. And she was super helpful. You could tell at that moment she was a mother speaking to another mother. So we went to her offices and she was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna lie to you, with these marks, the only thing you can get in is like any other degree in agriculture. And I fully was someone that told myself I was gonna do something with numbers, whether that be comp sci, coding, or whatever. Just I wanted numbers to work with. And obviously at that moment you'd probably think, but dude, Naledi, like, your marks did not show that. It's also one of those things where it's really hard to explain to someone what happened in that exam. You go in prepared, you come out and it's like what happened? It's something, you just can't explain it to someone. And in trying to do so, you just sound like you're making up excuses. You just sound like you just don't know what you're saying. So that's a conversation for another day. But we went to her offices and she was so helpful. You could tell
It was a mother speaking to another mother. Like,
Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit
I had
repeater.
a son who also didn't get in, and the best thing that we did for him was that he just upgraded. And upgrading was one of the things that was like on my mom's list of like solutions of how we can move forward. And when that lady said it, it was almost like a confirmation to her. And so I remember that very same day we drove and we went looking for a place that I could perhaps, I don't know, upgrade. And so I went to this institution called Abbott's, and basically I just signed up for 2 subjects. I just signed up to upgrade my math and science. And how would it work is that I'll just go in part-time just to do the math and science and then leave. And then I obviously have to find something else to do with my life because I can't just be focusing on that. And then, so this arrangement was so that I could write the exams at the end of the year. Because then according to the people there, or not even according to people, just in general, people always say that like the mid-sup exams are like the hardest. They were right. They were very hard, dude, like truly. So I stood a bit of chance in doing like the normal end of year exams of like class of 2024. And so I did that.
Yes, I did that. And you would do it too for a check.
The whole year was just me going to the institution part-time, upgrading my marks, math and science. It was I'm trying to find the word. I can't find the word, but it truly was. 2024 as a whole was a year of rebirth in a way that I didn't know I needed. It came in harsh ways. And the rebirth itself was not even complete. I still feel like I'm going through that rebirth, if that makes sense. It was the year that I truly experienced depression on a level I never even thought I'd ever experience it. Now, this was all self-diagnosis, but the way things were spiraling out, the way things were happening in my life, I could tell you that was depression, guys. I'm sorry. I was at my all-time lowest. I've never been this low in my life. I slowly pushed away from people. I just isolated in a way that's honestly toxic. I think also within that terror, within that, what you'd want to call trials and tribulations of it all, the storm, because after the storm, when the flowers bloom, the storm, when the flowers or the things holding me or keeping me grounded were
What was that?
Were the people I was on this journey with, my friend, my dearest friend, Tendai, the people I met as well. I, in a way, felt like that year was a year that God needed me to go through. And in many ways, it just kept proving so. I remember I'd go on TikTok and I'd see videos of like people going through the same thing, or like these videos were just resonating with me. And I remember seeing somewhere that like this year is a year of Job. I'm talking about 2024, of course. The year of Job, where he fully was tested in every way, everything being taken by him, and he just felt like, what? And in the end, he was rewarded with 10 times more. That's exactly how I feel like my journey was. 2024, dude, I was at my lowest. I was depressed to the max. I lost myself at a time that I thought I was finally starting to pick myself up. I crumbled even more. It's one of those, just think of the analogy of,
If you put a glass at a higher place, the fatality of the risk, that's not the right word.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
it falling from a higher place is gonna shatter even worse than if it was like at a lower place, if that makes sense. I hope you're getting me there. But 2024 was like a year that just felt like what I just wanted everything to end. I fully just wanted everything to end. And yeah, so I fully understand, like I can fully say I understand what you mean when a person tells me that, like, yo, dude, I feel like my world's ending. And the people out there that feel like all my days, dude, all my friends are in uni, dude, yo, the pain. People feeling like, yo, dude, it's the end of the world. Like everyone else seems to be having life going well for them, and I'm just sitting here stagnant in one place. My mom always trying to keep me going and motivated, she would always tell me, think of it this way, you're working towards the express train ticket. And the express train, of course, is like the bullet trains that you see in Japan, like the fast trains, like where everything's gonna happen so fast to compensate for when I was held back, if that makes sense. And truly so, it happened that way. Fast forward to beginning of 2025, I'm a bit more confident with my marks. My report's looking scrumptious, like fully, like I am confident in applying. This is my new report now. Now, just a bit of a backtrack. In applying in 2024, there were some universities that held back in terms of like, nah, we don't take upgrading students. I know for a fact, I don't know if it's between UJ or VITS, but they basically got back to me and said, for AXI, we don't take upgrading students. That was a bit of like, okay, like in the moment, in the turmoil of me feeling down already, and like these unis are like, no, we're not gonna take you the way, you're not good enough. And in that moment, you just feel like, but I'm trying to better myself to be good enough for you, and you're telling me you don't take people that basically bettered themselves. Other universities were more understanding than others. The lady that we went to at UP, she was so helpful. She was like, okay, you know what? Apply. You may not get it now, but we're obviously going to look at your marks in the year. And that's exactly what they did. UCT as well, they were a bit more lenient in waiting for my marks, fully understanding. It's in this way that you also realize, like, God is really about his timing and when he knows when he wants certain things to happen, because of the angels that he sends at the right moment. It really truly is a thing of also God knows in why certain things happen at a certain time, because he knows he's going to put a certain someone to look at your application in a certain way that is in your favor, if that makes sense. But then obviously fast forward to 2025, I'm waiting, and I'm getting this same anxiety I had in 2024 when I'm waiting for these like acceptance letters. I got my mark a day after I got response back from UCT. That was the first time I ever got an SMS. This was my SMS, guys. I felt like, wow, what? I got an SMS from UCT telling me like, you have been accepted, not for AXI, but we're gonna take you in the mainstream as a whole, so the B-Bus side mainstream, beside BCom mainstream, and you can choose a specialization when you get to UCT besides AXI. I'm gonna get to that later. But at this point, the way I was so, in the past, I had wanted to go to UCT so bad that when it just looked like it was never gonna happen, I started sidelining it, and it was just like, I don't want to go to UCT anymore. I'm gonna go to where I feel like I probably will get in easier. And at that moment, it was UP. I was so adamant on UP. Yes, the excitement for getting accepted into UCT was just as beautiful, but I truly set my eyes on UP. And I went there every day, and really it was just a moment, it was just a thing of space. There was not enough space, and that was really painful because it's like, okay, I qualified, but then the space. Do you get what I mean? So it was one of those things where in that moment I had to sit down and realize, okay, wait, Naledi, you're losing track. You're losing sight of the fact that these things are happening in God's time and God's way, the way that he sees fit for your life, because he knows he's prepped your life to go in that direction. And then I started fully comprehending, like, I got into UCT. Wait, what?
Like, wait, what?
And it like,
Wait, what?
yeah. And then it started, the excitement, the sitting down, reflecting on how far I've come as a person, reflecting on the fact that this time last year 2024 was the most depressive state, the beginning of my depression and anxiety, and right now I'm celebrating and how far I've come as a person. In terms of the woman I've also learned to become, and it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful to witness. And to this day, I'm like, the only university that accepted me was UCT. That was God's doing. He said, if I give you too many options, you're going to end up going to the place I don't want you to go to. I know that UCT is meant for you. And I got there and I'm here. And obviously I didn't get in for AXI. This comes into play what I was trying to say when I say it might work out, not in the way that you would have hoped it worked out. At the end of the day, you're going to fully get out of the rut. You're going to get out of the place that you felt like you were never going to get out of in the first place. Yes, you may not arrive at the place that you had hoped, but at the end of the day, in getting yourself out of that state that you thought you'd never get out of, that's bound to happen. And yes, I would have loved with all my heart to do AXI, and God had other plans for me, and I was very accepting and open to those plans. I'm laughing now, but last year was all tears. Right now, I'm studying Bachelor of Business Science in Data Science and Statistics, or Analytics, whatever you want to call it. It's a very good degree. It's a very good career path. And I'm proud of myself when I think of where I come from to where I am now. So let's take a step back and not make this about Naledi, and really about, I want to speak to the people that are probably going through that right now, class of 2023, maybe even class of 2024, maybe even before. And you just feel like, how many more unexpected gap years? Because that's clearly what it was. It was an unexpected gap year. I did not plan the gap year. It happened because circumstances led me to that gap year. So trust me, it's not the end. You are going to get out of it. We live in a day and age. I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday, and we were basically coming to the conclusion. He was telling me, he made up this whole story. That's a story for another day. But he basically made up this whole story, and then he came out and he's like, okay, dude, I was lying only because I wanted to motivate you. And we came to the conclusion that's like, we live in a world where it's so easy to make something of yourself if you use the resources around you. And you don't always have to go the conventional way. My point being that it's not the end of the world. It's never the end. Trust me, it's just another year.
Trust me, I know that.
Where you're going through what you might feel like is the worst year you've ever experienced in your whole life. But times after that are going to be just as better, because in that struggle that you've gone through of that year, you're building yourself up to be able to deal with a lot more in the future. You're training yourself to know what to not take, what to expect in this brutal and cruel world. And that's another thing that I feel like I've learned a lot in that, like, last year. and I'm still learning, quite literally. So to the people out there that are probably resonating with my story, I just want to let you know that trust me, it's not the end fully. And I'm not even trying to sell you guys anything. That's why I keep emphasizing that you will make it out. No matter where you head to, you may not head to the thing that you wanted to, but you will definitely get out of that hole that you feel like the trench of darkness. It's not the end. Trust me. And I don't even want to say it in a patronizing way, because I'm telling you, if I watched someone last year tell me that it's not the end, I would have been like, bro, what do you know? You know what it's like? I wish this person knew. Like, I've been there, dude. Oh my days, I've been there. I'm telling you, it's not the end. Do not give up on yourself. Trust me, this is only the beginning of so many things you're going to achieve for yourself as a person. And that's one thing I am so proud of being a part of this generation of. We are a generation of visionaries, creatives. I'm just inspired by us and just the abilities we have to, you know, make the world a better place, if you want to say. That's pretty much my story. It's just been me yapping, but I hope I yapped in a sense that in a way that kept you not just entertained, but really got you engaged and feeling truly inspired. Maybe you don't resonate with the story, but like my story, my testimony is one to think of in whatever might be holding you back. Because in me also posting this video, this was actually my first video. I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I've held back so many times because of the fear of being perceived. And I had to sit back and remind myself, dude, you've been through so much. You've been through so much by yourself. So you live for yourself. You should do things for you and not worry what other people say. Of course, it's not as easy to block out what, like, the noise of what people might have to say, opinions and stuff. But at the end of the day, just pick that camera up and shoot. And that's exactly what I did. I
Picked it up. I said, pick it up and shoot.
At the end of the day, I really hope that this video has made you feel somewhat better, has given you a sense of hope, a sense of clarity, and knowing that this year is not in vain. Whatever it is you're going through, trust and believe it is not the end. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, turn your notification bell on, because trust and believe with this first video, I'm adamant, I'm dead set on being consistent, growing a following of people and a community where we can just lift each other up. And as I document my life, you know, the ups and downs, the realness and all that, as cliche as that sounds. But yeah, just let me know if you guys have any other questions I can answer. Anyway, bye guys. See you next time.
Also ATL. Also ATL. Also ATL.